Hey guys, I'm EdwardStarcraft, and here we are live on justin.tv/EdwardStarcraft, and we're watching a game between a Terran and a Zerg player today in the Team Revoki Gaming Open #1. This is the map Shakuras Plateau, and we are watching a game between the Terran player, the red Terran player that we've been following this entire tournament, who is named Sterling, and the blue Zerg player on the right hand side, who is named iPSona. Not too sure about iPSona, but he beat the guy who beat Spanish Iwa, so definitely must be a good player. And this is the round of 16, which is still a best out of 1, but we've been getting a lot of great players here today. A lot of great players here. So now, let me check up on iPSona's stats over here. He looks like a Master Zerg player, while Sterling is in Grandmaster. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, I mean, if luck happens, we'll have a good match here today. Now, Sterling starting out this game by walling off. Not a bad idea. Versus a Zerg player, and we've seen that Sterling, he doesn't actually like to 2-racks Zerg players so far. He likes to go for this mech heavy build, and here we are. We're going to see him starting out with this one barracks, this drone trying to take out this SCV that's building, and now Sterling forced to pull another one of his SCVs to continue building and finish this barracks. But yeah, Sterling, he really enjoys mech play, and I really think it's going to be a good thing for Sterling. But now iPSona going to actually take one of his gas geysers, so Sterling will have a more difficult time of actually being able to win this. Now iPSona going for a 15 hatch here, the most aggressive economic build for him today, and Sterling, it's going to work out well for iPSona because Sterling does not have too many units out. He's actually going to open up with the Reaper. This is quite interesting, and Sterling is scouting around in iPSona's base, seeing no gas. Maybe iPSona over here actually is getting some inspiration from Spanish Iwa, and perhaps iPSona will not get gas anytime soon, and without gas it's going to be very, very difficult for Sona to actually defend from a Reaper rush. Especially if Sterling's like, you know what, I'm just going to transition into continuously producing Reapers. And now the first Reaper is out. Sterling getting an expansion, and I guess he's not going to just mass Reaper 2. Instead, he's going to try to take out this gas as quickly as possible, because gas geysers, you really need them if you're a Terran player and you want to go for mech-oriented builds. So now Sterling scouting around yet again, but yeah, iPSona still with no gas geyser. I feel that if he just massed Reapers and gone in, that actually would have worked very, very well for Sterling. But either way works, and now Sterling with his expansion going up very, very soon. Let's see how well this works out for him. Now he is getting a bunker. He's actually not walling off at his natural expansion, funnily enough, but it's not going to be a huge deal for him because iPSona with this more economic base opening, and ooh, a little bit of blunder there, not setting his rally points. And yes, iPSona going for this more economic opening. He will okay, there's his gas geyser, so not quite Spanish Iwa, but still going for this more economic opening. It's going to work out well for him. Now iPSona over here, he does actually, you can see that he's been missing some of his larva injects, and that is because he's been trying to spread creep, which is so useful against the Terran player. Now here comes the Reaper. Might have missed what it did earlier, but it's jumping up there. 4 Zerglings over here. Reaper takes out 1 and jumps right back down. Very nice micro on Sterling's part, but that Reaper now low on health, and Sterling transitioning into more mech-based playstyle. We do have one slow Zergling moving out to do some scouting. Sterling does have one of his SCVs over here to check up on the Zelnaga tower. Will get killed very quickly, or not. Wow. I didn't know that SCVs ran that fast, but there we go, the final blow from that Zergling onto that SCV. Sterling losing that SCV, not a huge deal, but now moving out with a few Marines, seeing that his opponent still without slow. iPSona continuing to macro up, continuing to build a lot of harvesters. 38 to 31, building yet another 8 harvesters. iPSona going to have a very nice economy very soon. 46 to 32. Look at that. Of course, he is defenseless, but that's not a huge concern for iPSona because, you know, he has very good vision of the map. Actually, not the best vision, but still decent vision on this map. This one Reaper over here. We'll see these 2 oncoming Zerglings and die to them, I guess. Now, at the same time, let's take a look at production. Sterling continuing to go for this mech-based build, and actually, no, not at all. Usually, you know, we saw some of his last games where he'd get 1 factory and then add on like 3 more factories. Here, instead, looks like Sterling going to go for more Marines or Marauders. We see, yeah, the Stimpak researching for Sterling. And, you know, 2 more barracks. So, really, I think he's going to go for more Marines in this, and that will work out very well. Yeah, he's dropping over here, and he's actually landing one of his tanks in a very, very hard-to-attack position. This, I mean, really just, like, without any sort of air support from iPSona's units, it's going to be difficult for iPSona to take out, yeah, this tank. Tank just sieging up right outside of roach range, going to take out roaches for free. And this is really, I guess, a Zerg player's worst nightmare, and even worse on this map. Now, iPSona doesn't look like he's taking to air at all. This could be a huge deal, but these Marines, again, doing some more damage. Tanks taking care of these, doing some damage to these roaches as well. This medevac, because there's not too much anti-air here from iPSona, this medevac can roam around just freely and do a lot of damage. Now, looks like that Sterling is just going to continue pushing his advantage over here, adding in Banshees to his forces, which, you know, 1 Banshee actually even takes out 1 Queen. That is just huge here. So now the Banshee moving in. The Queen going to try to fend off this Banshee, but remember, this Banshee not going to try to actually take out that Queen. It could, but now Sterling with a second and iPSona with the 2nd and 3rd Queen. It's not good at all for Sterling. Sterling's air units, but now we have 2 more tanks joining the fray for Sterling. Those 2 additional tanks would be able to, again, do a lot of damage to these Queens, to these roaches. Now, these roaches are moving in for an attack. These tanks doing, again, a lot of damage, but they are forced to retreat. At the same time, Sterling moving in from the front side with tanks and Marines as well. This is looking very difficult for iPSona. Even Sterling will pick up these units yet again and move them again to this position. But now, look at this. These roaches moving into Sterling's main base. Sterling without any units here to defend. Oh, and just walking straight into Sterling's base. This is not good at all for Sterling. We might come into a base trade sort of scenario. Sterling trying to wall off his main base as well. But yeah, I mean, if this is a base trade scenario with all those hardy roaches, I think iPSona is going to be in a slight advantage. Now Sterling moving in one of his Banshees. Those Banshees will do a lot of damage to those roaches, but those roaches just killed off the entirety of Sterling's harvesters. Sterling moving back all of his units over here. Roaches caught in a huge choke point, but perhaps not enough units here from Sterling to fend off the sheer number of roaches. 2 more tanks now joining the fray. Again, their siege times take so long. Now iPSona, yes, he takes a lot of damage. He is going to lose all of his roaches, but he does a lot of damage to Sterling. Now iPSona killing 32 of Sterling's workers. Wow. If Sterling had just raised that supply depot, that may have bought him enough time to take this out. But now Sterling in a very difficult position. Yes, he has mules to help him recover, but that is way too much damage for iPSona, and compounded with that, if you take a look at army supply, iPSona is ahead in army supply. And now Sterling in a very difficult position. Here's round 2 of the push for iPSona. Yes, Sterling is going to try to redo this push. Spend some more time over here, but look at this. iPSona trying to take out this wall. And even with the number of tanks as Sterling has here, it's going to take way too long to take out these roaches. Way too long. But then iPSona actually does retreat. I guess he doesn't realize how few units Sterling has over here. And Sterling, again, free to push up this difficult position. But now iPSona, what's his game plan again? He's going to move directly into Sterling's base yet again. Sterling forced to lift off. Is going to force him to re-wall off the front of this base. And now Sterling is continuing to try to take out units in the main base for iPSona. And look at the supply counts. Those mules actually did help Sterling to get a little more even on supplies, but these roaches again could do a lot of damage, and these bunkers just take so long to build. However, that tank combined with all of these marines, ooh, that stim just wasted on those marines, but yes, combined with all those marines, it could do a lot. Again, these roaches over here from iPSona taking out that one tank, so Sterling's push has been foiled, and it's really just quite the interesting game here today. Now Sterling moving in for another drop, but his opponent does spot it very easily. Not sure how he expects to do damage with this drop. And I really like this play from iPSona. He's moving only half of his troops over here to try to take out these marines, because he knows that if he moves his entire army, his army will be screwed out. Sterling doing a lot of damage to these harvesters, and not even being able to recover his units into that medevac. Poor over there, but Sterling now expanding as much as he can. Let's take a look at harvester counts again. Sterling now yet a little more even with his opponent, I guess with his pushes. No, just with his constant pressure. His opponent's iPSona just not able to build that many workers, and yet another Banshee coming into iPSona's base to do some damage, taking out quite a few workers. Yet again, Banshee does go down. But wow, this game is a lot closer than I thought. I thought iPSona had the lead, and now Sterling pushing himself back into the lead with just this constant damage, constant harassment. Even then, now iPSona and I both thought we were done over here, but more marines just coming into iPSona's base. Good thing he had these two infestors over here to fungal growth those marines, take them out very quickly, and taking out some of Sterling's advantage. But still, Sterling now getting on fourth bases himself. Ooh, this one base morphing into Planetary Fortress. I don't think it will finish in time. And now Sterling forced to run away his SCVs, but these roaches intercepting these SCVs. But then again, we have all of these marines over here. Stim going down for all those marines, and iPSona going to lose all of these roaches yet again, or at least take a lot of damage to his roaches. Those marines just doing so much damage, I mean, in those critical masses. And now, those SCVs. Sterling, what are you doing? Just losing all these SCVs. No, Sterling, not the best way to go over there. But yet again, he's just chasing after all of these overlords. He has a decent number of marines out, and Sterling now losing those marines means that he is now at a macro disadvantage to his opponent. He used to be even on harvesters, and now, ooh, Sterling with these units will lose all of these units over here as well, lifting up this orbital command, trying to save all of these, but I think this orbital command may go down as well. Ooh, not the best engagements there for Sterling. Now Sterling moving in from the front door, splitting up his marines so fungal growths are not as effective. I really like that. That is just great job there from Sterling. Now, Sterling may lose this very soon. 90-something health left. Sterling making another drop over here, just keeping on the pressure on all of these bases, killing yet another infestor, going to focus down all of these harvesters, and now the spine crawler perhaps even taking down this one base. Yet another engagement over here, but Sterling manages to hold off his queens, going down very slowly but surely. Now more roaches, infestors reinforcing this push, and now Sterling yet again just taking his medevacs and evacuating all of his troops. Now Sterling going to take out this base very quickly, and now his third base up and running and mining. Now you can see that iPSona has not been macroing to the best of his ability. You see here that 1600 minerals, 1100 100 gas. I mean, without those units, those minerals in the bank, and with them more, I guess, and without them in the bank and with them more in units, he could be holding off these pushes here by Sterling. But now these roaches coming in yet again. Looks like they're going to focus fire down all these tanks, but these Marines, remember, they still do a lot of damage to roaches. Never underestimate the power of Marines. But yet again, Sterling with a two-prong attack. Once he takes out this Roach Warren, it's pretty much game over for iPSona, since that was his core unit. The Infestation Pit goes down as well, and we don't even have any hive tech. So now this is really looking bad. I mean, a lot of very nice trades between the two players. 68 health on that hatchery. That is pretty much asking to get taken down. But yeah, now Sterling, if he can even take down this one lair over here, that will be very useful for him. Now he's going to have to evacuate his troops yet again, but his multi-prong, really Sterling's multi-prong, you know, I guess multi-prong harassment working very well for him, and now he's going to just continue applying this pressure. And you know, he's just waiting for iPSona to make a mistake. And even though iPSona still has more harvesters than him, and you know, take a look at units lost, iPSona with more units lost than Sterling, his macro is way down. He doesn't even have a queen being reproduced over here at the top hatchery. So here, Sterling, no, his income not as high as iPSona's, but really just his macro on tip-top shape. And as soon as I say that, of course, he builds up 500, 600 minerals. But you know, a few more Marines over here. They may be able to take down this hatchery. This hatchery does go... What? Okay, he's going to take out these drones right before the hatchery because he sees that they have so little health, and now he takes out the hatchery as well as all of those drones. Now take a look at harvester count. iPSona, even with less harvesters than Sterling, wow. Just, I mean, even with that initial push, Sterling, you know, he looked like he was in a terrible position, but now he's in a great position with his multi-pound harassment. iPSona's main base just doing whatever, and Sterling just continuing to move in to the main base for iPSona. And remember, this is the new main base because iPSona, he has the spawning pool over here after losing his initial nice fungal there from iPSona, going to catch all of these Marines off guard, and that might actually do the trick over here. It might be able to hold off Sterling yet again. If all of these Marines are yet again clumped up, those Mulas can just take down the rest, and their infestors moving in. Oh, one infestor getting lost, but yes, infestors taking down those Marines. Will that be enough, though? There's still not enough Mulas for the Marines. These Marines will get killed very easily. And just those tanks just doing damage again and again. And iPSona without a spawning pool, he has to rebuild his spawning pool at his third base over here. 11 more Mulas in production. And that's really just going to be key here. If iPSona can build up enough air units and kill off the rest of Sterling's anti-air, that would be good. But you know, iPSona, he does have one of these investors over here. We have Mulas moving in for counterattacks, and those are actually just a great idea for iPSona, since look at the missile turrets over here for Sterling. Not enough. Sterling going to have to build 2 missile turrets over here at this planetary fortress, and those Marines will take out those Mulas very easily. Just not enough, but more Mulas over here at iPSona's main base, doing a lot of damage to these tanks. Another Banshee doing more damage, getting 8 kills over here, and just Sterling, this has just been the craziest game whatsoever. Sterling now having to long distance mine from this top base because his natural expansion already out of minerals. But I really have to say that yes, even though iPSona can kill this army again and again, Sterling really still has an advantage over here. More units coming in trying to take out these Mulas, but these Mulas just do so much damage to units that don't have anti-air. These tanks, you would think that they'd be able to put on an anti-air gun, but now iPSona pushing back the rest of Sterling's forces, and we might have a quite calm section of this engagement. But still, Sterling 82 to 35 supply. It is no question who has the lead in this game. Now Sterling floating one of his command centers to take this fourth base. Definitely a great idea here from Sterling. You know, you want to be maximizing your units as much as possible, and Terran units, they're just very cost efficient in whatever numbers. Now iPSona is using this lull in the game to re-expand, but Sterling made a Raven. Interesting. Build 2 auto turrets over here just to take out what he can, because he can. Funnily enough, these Marines still don't even have combat shields, and now nice fungal growth on these Marines yet again here from iPSona, but just not enough Marines to take out Sterling's units. He's moving in yet again to this one base here from iPSona. iPSona trying to rebuild his spawning pool. Did it die yet again? I guess it must have, or something like that. Now these Marines, there is the GG from iPSona. Congratulations to Sterling for moving into the quarterfinals for the Revoki Gaming Open #1.